Skye Perryman is joining us now. She's the president and CEO of Democracy Forward, which has sued the Trump administration over its use of the Alien Enemies Act. Skye, thanks for being here. The El Salvador prison, we know, generally offers zero contact between inmates and the outside world. And here we have this judge giving the government not only 24 hours to confirm where Aguilvez is being held, but also then 48 hours to restore and help maintain attorney-client communication with him. Are you concerned that they may just ignore the court's ruling?
Well, I think the main thing that we want everyone to understand is that the federal courts continue to be unrelenting in their commitment, as our Constitution promises, to due process and to ensuring that the executive branch in this country, that the president and his administration are not above the law. We've already heard that the government wants to appeal this order, but I think that that's also something that every American should be concerned about. Why is it that this president and this administration do not want people to be able to access their attorneys when they are being detained? That is a fundamental question that should concern all of us in this country, because, of course, if it could happen to this individual, it could happen to any of us.
How hopeful are you that this phone call, this contact is allowed?
You know, I do have confidence that the courts are going to continue. You've seen this. The courts will continue to ensure that their orders are enforced. We're all waiting and watching to see what will happen with the appellate court. But this is due process, plain and simple. This is what our Constitution requires, what our Constitution provides. And I think that it's a positive development, certainly, this judge's orders in the case.
We have seen this administration in the past kind of just throw up their hands and say, well, there's nothing we can do in regards to other court rulings. If they do that again, what can the courts do?
You know, the courts do have a range of powers, and you're already seeing that even in the Alien Enemies Act cases. You have a federal court in Washington that has already found that the government, that there is probable cause to believe that the government engaged in contempt. We are going to see over the course of the next weeks and months ahead, the federal courts in this country have to utilize their powers to hold the government accountable to their orders. They do have those powers. Lawyers that are appearing before federal courts in this country, if they do not take steps to ensure that their clients abide by court orders, there are particular disciplinary proceedings and other proceedings that can get the lawyers in trouble. And then, of course, in this country, no one, not even the president, is above the law. And you're really going to see the courts, I think, have to enforce that line.
Let's talk about the Supreme Court's ruling yesterday allowing the Trump administration to move forward with revoking temporary protected status for hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans. What does that mean for them? Can they now be deported?
Well, you know, this is really concerning for so many people who have been following this case and, of course, for our overall system. But it's important to note that what the Supreme Court did yesterday is they really just put a pause on an injunction, a court order that a lower court issued, finding, by the way, that what the Trump administration had done was unlawful. And so you see that the Supreme Court wanting this to move through the district court and the appellate courts, and that's what will happen. There's obviously a lot of concern, and you heard that from immigration advocates and from other civil society advocates yesterday about what is going to happen to people while the court proceedings are playing out. But I think the important thing for everyone to know is that there is not a court yet in this country that has held that what the Trump administration is doing right now is lawful, and we're going to have to wait and see how this process plays out.
Skye Perryman, thank you so much for joining us.